Welcome, everybody, to the Bush and Me Show, The Last Dance Recap with special guest Torrey Smith. For those of you guys that don't know, Torrey's a LeBron fan. We had him on the show last week, and you kind of asked for this, so here you have it right now.
First of all, let me put this out there. I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm a Jordan fan as well. Like, both things can exist at the same time. I know we like to put them against each other because they're great, but if you listen to our first time talking about this on the B.A.M show, you realize that I said the same thing. We didn't learn anything different about Jordan that we didn't know. He's an animal. He's a fierce competitor. He all he cares about is winning, and he's an asshole, right? These are all things that we knew before, and you see him working, like, people in a very competitive environment. You kind of understand his dog mentality. That's what makes it work. And you also got to see, some of the worst defense being played. But anyways, I'll talk to you.
All right. Before you get into that, a quick recap of episode 1 and 2. They led off with Jordan's progression. They showed him in the NBA, and then they showed his progression from high school to the NBA. They gave us a rundown of the landscape of the Bulls organization before Jordan, and then while he was there to after. They talked about Jerry Krause, who didn't look so good. They showed how the Bulls won the 5 championships in 7 years, and they led you up. They set the stage for that 97-98 season where they told Phil Jackson it was his last year no matter what, and this was their last dance. So then we went to episode 2 with Scottie Pippen, and one of the worst contracts ever, but we'll get into that too. They showed Scottie's frustration with management and how he held out during an injury. We'll get your guys' opinion on that, former players. They switched to Jordan's second year where he got hurt, and that's where he first started bumping heads with management. He wanted to come back. They didn't want him to come back. He ended up coming back, which led to 2 of the greatest playoff performances. You're going to say it's bad defense, story, but he still put up 63, and that kind of ended it. So those were the first 2 episodes. Bush, what were your takes on the first 2?
Kind of going back to what Torrey said, I mean, he's a fierce competitor. But the thing I liked about it, you know exactly what you're going to get when you're talking about Michael Jordan. But to see the ins and outs and just to have an understanding of why is he so competitive. And it started when he was a young boy. He was raised around, all these guys, all his brothers and things like that. So and kind of going back to that second year when they was put in that position where it kind of looked like management wanted to tank so they could get a better draft pick. He was like, no. That right there just goes to show you the type of mentality he had. I was glued to the TV from the time it started until it ended. Like I didn't want to have any distractions when looking at it. But I'm looking forward to it all. But yeah, Torrey, what was your thoughts?
Yeah, the same. I loved everything about it. It's crazy how he used we don't really think about this way often, but like, he was raised by his father, but it was kind of traumatic in a way. Like, he always was accepted by his father and felt like he wasn't enough.
Right.
He did that to work. And even though I thought all these years it was like a legend that he was cut from the basketball team, period. He was cut from the varsity team.
Right.
Yeah.
He played JV. So he didn't just come out the woodworks to get the open. But just to hear the backstory and everything, I mean, he goes from literally being cut and only playing JV as a sophomore to he's like the number 1 player, arguably the number 1 player in the country 2 years later. So I think there's a lot of things that we can take about that to be better ourselves, and you understand the type of dog and how it was built.
Yeah.
That's like his dad said too. His dad said, if you want to make Michael great, tell him he can't do something.
Right.
That showed his work ethic, and that was awesome. And then the other thing I liked was Roy Williams when he said the only guy that can turn it on and off was MJ, and he never freaking turned it off.
I mean, the dude wanted to win at everything, You can't play cards, around the golf, basketball, a video game. You can't do anything. The guy's going to want to win. It doesn't matter what it is. And for me, growing up seeing that was kind of major, but then the fact that I'm older now and I have an understanding, I was blessed enough to be a professional athlete. And I guess my mindset was a little different from his, but like, the grind doesn't stop. Like, he did everything he could to try to win the games. And he had a great supporting cast with him, and I just can't wait for the next 8 episodes just so we can see everything that went into, especially this Dennis Rodman one coming up next.
I got a question for you guys, since you guys are former players. They said before the playoff game with the Celtics, he went and played golf with Danny Ainge the game before. What if that happened today, like with the social media and everything? Like, Torrey, what if you went and played golf with Kaepernick before the Super Bowl or something? What do you guys think about that?
The first thing that came to my mind when I heard that, I was like, I bet not hear another old head say a single thing about guys being friends.
Yeah, like
seriously, they went and played golf. Like, y'all know what it's like to be on that hot sun and just go. I'm sure they didn't walk around, but going around the entire time, like during the playoffs, like this wasn't a preseason game.
Right, it's playoffs.
You know, and part of it is like, you know, Jordan was using his Jedi mind tricks, but at the same time, I mean, like that, if that isn't fraternizing with the enemy, I don't know what it is.
Right.
I agree.
He's better than me. You know, before a game, especially if I had to play against somebody, I don't want to see you at all, because like I don't even want to really have that friendship. You know, when that game starts until it ends. You know, my position was a little different. I played offensive line for the people out there who don't know, but that wasn't really anything that I didn't roll like that. You know, when I was there to play a game, I was just kind of focused. My blinders was on, and then after the game, hey, we can hang out and do whatever you want. But before, no, not at all.
I guess the football equivalent for us is really just going out to eat the day before.
Right.
That's like me coming to Chicago, Miami, or New Orleans and being like, Bushra, man, let's go eat. And then, what you think? All right, it may not be the end of the world, right? And like, I would sure love to catch up with him and the family, but we all know it's business. You know what I mean? Right. And I'll see you before the game, and I'll see you after the game. But that right there is next level.
No, not me.
What was your biggest surprise throughout the whole first 2 episodes? Who wants to go first?
Ooh, my biggest surprise was probably Pippen's contract. Honestly, that was probably my biggest surprise. But the fact that you can win 5 championships and management still won't be happy. You would still not want to keep that glue together. That could take you. I mean, that you could have turned that to 6 to 8 to you know, you could have turned that to a lot of championships, because those guys had a lot of years left, especially when they're playing together. So I would have to say the disconnect between management and the players, but Pippen's contract is definitely right up there with it.
Do you think they could have won enough championships to make Torrey think Jordan was better than LeBron?
Look, I'm going to give you this. LeBron is a better athlete, but as far as basketball, I will give you that, Torrey. That's all I'm giving you. But
this is supposed to change him to MJ, not change you to LeBron.
But I feel you, though. I feel it, though. I mean, when you sit back and you really look at LeBron, like LeBron is an intimidating-looking basketball player, and he can do everything. But when you see Jordan in this documentary, just the mindset that he takes and just who he is, his makeup, I love it, man. I love the competitor and the basketball player that he was.
Well, did you see that amazing line that he had versus Celtics with 0 assists?
Hey,
I mean, we talked about before, like being able
to win the game.
I mean, they lost that series, but I mean, when you talk about it, it's about being whole in your approach. Like, I think it's hard to argue that anyone being a better scorer than Jordan, other than Kevin Durant, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I think Kevin Durant is probably the most complete offensive package that we've ever seen, and God made him 7 foot, so that's a whole different monster. But I mean, Jordan, you know, he speaks for himself, and I know y'all think I'm the biggest hater in the world. I would kind of feed off of the Scottie Pippen story as well, and Jordan's response to it. Jordan kind of speaking out that he should play out his deal. Well, I went to Google.
Oh, yeah.
So Jordan's rookie deal was a 6-year deal, or 6 or 7. I think Scottie was 7, Jordan was 6. I might have it backwards. Long story short, Jordan only played 4 of those years under that contract before he received his first extension/restructured deal. So to put that type of pressure on your boy, or to sell him out publicly when you are the face of not just this team, that organization, but the league. Like, that
Right.
hurts. And you know, in this business, it's like, man, you never mess with another man's money.
Yeah, you gotta have the player. You gotta have the players back. You know what I'm saying? You can't have
Absolutely,
the
at all
organizations back. You know?
At all times. And I think we've seen that before, like when guys speak out like, oh, you know, you need to be here with the team. Well, if my man's hurt, why are you going to go out here and play hurt for someone who's not even trying to pay you what you're worth? Did you
Right.
sign a bad thing in the beginning? Yes. In a perfect world, do you honor those contracts? Yes. But we also live in a world where if you outperform contracts, people have gotten it done. It's not like he was the first person that ever asked for a restructured deal.
Right. Right. And the fact that that the GM wouldn't even consider doing a deal. He was like, you play the deal out. When the deal's over, then you can come back and talk to me. And another thing that kind of caught me off guard after the fact was that year that Pippen was making what, $2-3 million, which in the real world that's good money. But when you're pretty much one of the top 5 players, you have 2 of the top 5 players on one team. Jordan was making $33 million that year.
Crazy.
In 97, 98. $33 million.
That is ridiculous.
Ron Harper was making more than Pippen.
Pippen was the 6th ranked, 6th highest paid player on his team. Like that's insane. Like management should be like, yeah, this is probably not a good look on us. He's probably going to be upset soon if we don't revisit
at some
this.
point, right? Like they have to anticipate that.
At least just throw him a couple more and just be like, I'm sorry. Like just at least
Instead-
make up for lost time.
Instead, they were trying to trade him. They were trying to trade him from McGrady for the 97 draft.
That's crazy.
Disrespectful.
Scottie Pippen walked so Ezekiel Elliott could go to Cabo. So sports and contract negotiations have changed.
Oh, man. He said, yeah, another part that surprised me, he was like, yeah, I'm not getting this ankle work done right now. I'm going to wait it out to the season or whatever injury he had going on. He didn't get it done in the offseason. He said he was going to wait for the season. That was kind of surprising, but you get it. I understand it, you know, looking at it from a player's.
He said it. Y'all like a mess of my summer. So look,
straight up.
And I'm going to get this taken care of right now, or I'm technically healthy, but this thing can be fixed. It can be delayed.
Right.
And he played his cards, and ultimately he ended up fine down the line, which we all know. But it's still tough understanding that business aspect and really feeling like as a player, it's like no matter what you do, and I think it's another side of the business that it's tough for fans to understand because like you're arguing over millions of dollars. But the reality of it is, it proves again, no matter what you do, the teams have all the power. So when you have any leverage, you have to use it to your advantage.
Yep. Good point.
That's a good point. He did sign a $63 million contract with Houston the year after he left, so he did get taken care of. But moving forward, what are you guys most excited to see in the next couple episodes? Bush, we'll start with you.
The Rodman. I want to see the Rodman story because Rodman was one of the most fascinating players when you look at him from the outside in, and then everything else that he brought to the game. You know, he brought a circus to the stadium. You know, him dressing up the way that he did. I mean, you know, like back when we would watch his games, it wasn't many NBA. You know, it wasn't a bunch of channels when we were watching them, but you watched Dennis Rodman to see what kind of hairstyle he was going to have. What were they going to be talking about pregame? How did he show up to the stadium? But then when you got to see him, I mean, he could go out there, score 2 to 4 points, but have 18, 20 rebounds and just hustling all over the floor. I can't wait to see the deep dive into the Dennis Rodman story.
We're definitely going to cut that, so it just says you're excited to see him dressing up. We got to edit that.
Yeah. I mean,
Torrey, what you got?
I'm looking forward to learning more about Dennis Rodman as well because all we consistently think about is the 1 and the 2.
Right.
Which is, you know, the Batman and Robin, right? And I'm glad that Jordan made it known that he needed, you know, his Robin, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, we all understood that, and his greatness still speaks for itself, but it shows, again, that you can't do it all by yourself. But you had these two of the best players of all time, top 50 players of all time, on the same team, and then you have a guy that's like a circus, like a clown show on the same team. It's like to see how that dynamic worked. but he did all of the dirty work.
All of it.
To guard anyone. Like, and you had to have a guy that didn't have an ego. He just went out, had fun, partied, had a good time. And I needed to learn more about these secrets that, you know, I'm sure he has, because I've seen him. I've had the opportunity to bump into him a few times in Miami. And I'm like, man, this is the same guy from the 90s. Like, just the way he thinks and all of that. So I'm looking forward to a detailed interview to learn more about him.
He took a 48-hour Vegas trip. Well, we haven't got into it yet, but they were hinting that Dennis Rodman taking a 48, like a Vegas vacation in the middle of the season. Yeah, like let's go. They should release. The fact that they are spreading these things out over 5 weeks is killing me. But it is.
We almost made it one episode without you bringing up Vegas too. Almost.
Vegas, that was a long time ago, long time ago.
I think you guys took the easy way out. I'm waiting to see Isaiah. That was like the story back then. Isaiah and Jordan. I can't wait to see. I hope they get him to come on. That would be awesome. But if not, just Jordan. You know, I know you're not a LeBron guy, Torrey, but I don't think LeBron could block somebody from making the dream team like Jordan did. I don't think that he iced him out in the All-Star game. He on the elevator, supposedly, he told everybody, don't give Isaiah the ball. I can't wait to see that. I mean, I think through this all, I think Jordan's going to come out looking pretty bad. I love Jordan, but he's going to come out eventually looking bad over these next couple episodes of what he said to the teammates. But I think Isaiah's going to come out looking really bad too. I want to see that.
I want to separate the real from the fake. I know we've heard all of these different legends and myths. Like, I'm looking forward to hearing it from the horse's mouth. Like, what's going on? I feel like Cabo's quarantined and that's setting us up. Like, it should be every night we can watch this thing, not spreading this thing out like this.
I'm telling you.
So in defense, I heard that they're only done 6 episodes so far. They released this early. They're still editing 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Shit, just give it all. I'll take it all. Just give it all to me.
We'll finish editing it for. Give us the raw footage, man.
Yeah, give me the raw footage. We'll watch all of it.
Tell Joe to take care of it, man.
That's great. You guys got anything else?
No, man. I'm excited though. Like, Sunday cannot come soon enough. Like, you saw my Instagram post. I'm on the couch with my jersey on, some shoes to match. I had a little something to drink. I ain't gonna say what was in there, but I'm just sitting back. I'm taking it all in. Like, kids asking me questions. I'm like, hold up. Wait till the commercial, because I'm trying to focus on what's going on.
I have something to say, because I've been attacked by a lot of folks about this special. I'm going to tell you this. It's funny. I never once mentioned LeBron's name during this whole 2-hour special, on my Twitter at least.
Yes.
And I say anything negative about the defense.
Oh, yeah.
You just think LeBron can do anything. So I saw Kendrick Perkins put it the best. He said, like, it was Kendrick Perkins or someone along the ESPN. They were like, well, people consistently are bringing up LeBron when it's a Bulls/Jordan special. They aren't bringing up Kobe. They aren't bringing up Kareem. They aren't bringing up Wilt. So even if we don't think LeBron is the best player, people are saying it without saying that he has to be number 2. And I think that says a lot about the respect, even though people want to hate him so bad.
For sure.
That's well said.
That's a good point. But
cool, man. Well, I was gonna say it's been a pleasure wrapping it with you guys, recapping this thing. We'll jump back on here next week after 3 and 4. If Jamal makes it next Sunday.
It's a recap every single week.
Hey, every Tuesday. Well, it'll be out.
You coming back?
Yeah, coming back. As long as Jordan is going and LeBron is alive, this will be a conversation every week.
The goal is to get MJ number 1 on your list.
Hey man, he steady dropping down.
Yeah, look, we ain't even got into the nitty-gritty yet. Like,
that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that might make y'all lose some respect for your idol coming up soon now.
Look, don't say that. Don't say that to me.
And he snitched on his teammates, but we ain't gonna say that, huh?
Yeah, that was funny though. That part, I was like, hold on, bro, you just gonna dime him out like this? Like everybody was doing what?
Stay tuned next week for the Jermon Bushrod eBay account. There'll be a lot of Jordans for sale.
Listen, I'm gonna take it back. So I was a big baseball fan growing up. I didn't know Darryl Strawberry was dealing with some of his demons off the field as well. So when I grew up, he was the best thing ever. And when I learned about everything he had going on, I was like, I didn't look at him a little different, but I was like, you just don't really know what goes on behind the scenes. And that's why I appreciate this documentary so much, because he chased greatness and he wasn't going to let anything stop him from that. So let's just see. I'm excited. Torrey, we appreciate you, bro.
None of us are perfect. So, I mean, I think that's a great way to put it. He chased his demons and, he chased greatness and he reached it. He reached the top. Yeah. And, he left everybody in the dust that didn't care who you were. At least he didn't discriminate.
He did not. He put winning overall. So
GM told the GM he had short vitamins. Is what he said.
They were frying.
He said short pills and skinny pills. Which
He didn't care. So that's the one thing you can respect, man. Jordan, what you see is what you get, and that's why I'm loving this special and looking forward to recapping with y'all.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Come along for the ride. We'll see you guys next week.
I appreciate you.